Devils got a point. No goals, but we got a point out of that one as we lose 1-0 in overtime to the Hartford, Carolina Whaler Hurricanes. Yeah, there's not much nitpick in this one. I thought VTech had a very solid game. I thought the top line, while not as absolutely dominant as they have been in the recent stretch, still put up a number of great chances. I thought Jack Hughes was a lot more on form. Obviously, it helps he got the ice time, as I was talking about in the last video. Led the team in shots, created good chances. Obviously, still not the hugest fan of Hala on that line. I think there's probably a better way to implement a second line there with Jack, but can't really complain with the actual results. I think all in all, we were definitely the better team tonight. 5-on-5. I mean, the 3-on-3 was fairly back and forth. We had the couple of chances there with the Jack line, getting it to Toffoli, or Jack on the ice, not really line, I guess. Carolina did not really get any chances until the one that went in. But let's go ahead and I guess start from the beginning. First period was fairly close, fairly back and forth. Our penalty kill held its ground. Their penalty kill held its ground. I thought our second power play of the night was electrically dynamic. I cannot believe one of those pucks did not go in the net. Probably could say even the same thing a little bit there on the remaining power plays for the game. There was a couple chances for sure. But nothing like that second power play. That was just, I don't know how we didn't score on it. Carolina's power play was also pretty strong. We pretty much held them to ground just like they held us. And then that second period I'm going to talk about here. I don't think it's a very long video because it was, anywho, that second period, in my opinion, was probably some of the most fun hockey I've watched this season. And that's just not Devils hockey. That is across the board. Yeah, no goals were scored, but it was just enjoyable, fun, entertaining hockey, which is something you don't get to say too often watching the Carolina Hurricanes. But yeah, there was no goals, but really from even before the 4-on-4, but obviously especially from the 4-on-4 through basically the end of the period, it was just good hockey, just good, enjoyable, fun hockey to watch. And while my heart was beating out of my chest, tried to still enjoy it a little bit. I guess go line by third period, same old there. Obviously, I thought Carolina had a little bit better of the run at stretches there, but still, we had our chances at it, and both goalies just really played well. When Martinook had that breakaway against VTech, I was so convinced that he was going to score. Just the PTSD from the playoffs with Martinook, but VTech showed up on that one, got us the point. Couldn't make it two, which is unfortunate because you probably feel a whole world's different about that game if we do, and instead, it's a 1 point difference, I guess, when it's as tight, when we are out of it. I believe now with games in hand and everything, we are now officially out of the playoffs, even by all of my copium. But still a decent amount of games left, still plenty of time to catch teams, especially because we are playing a lot of the teams that we're in the race with. So it is by far and away not close to over yet. But this was one that, the last game, I thought the Flames game was I don't know about much more winnable, but just hurt more, I guess, where this one was just, probably deserved to win, but you lose it off of a puck batted out of midair in overtime. What are you going to do? I think this was our first game not giving up a goal in the first 60 minutes. Yes, technically not a shutout because overtime, right? But 60-minute effort of not giving up a goal. There was also a 60-minute effort, 60-plus minute effort of not scoring a goal. That being said, we had our chances to do so. They just, had a goalie that was playing well. We absolutely lit Carolina up on shots. One of the few teams who have done that at all this season. So you like to see that. But I can talk a little bit line by line here. I said top line, I thought not as dominant or dynamic in this one as they had been in previous ones and the recent stretch, but still very strong game. Jack Hughes line. Timo was getting a lot of clout shot out there on social media from what I saw, but I thought he did very well drawing penalties. Yeah, he took the one. I thought his board game was pretty strong, but the line as a whole, I didn't feel like generated anything too crazy. Yes, it was with Mercer a lot. Yeah, there was no sec, and he had, I believe, some play with Lazar as well. For the most part, there. Yeah, it's not the absolute strongest line, but it's Timo Meyer. You're the highest paid forward on the team. That's one of the ones where you kind of want him. Yes, he did take over a bit more physically, which was a big part of this game. Shout out Kevin Ball there as well. But as far as actually generating, I think, high quality scoring chances, I think the fourth line did a better job there. You just want to see a little bit more again. None of the guys scored, right? That's not really the point here. It's more so just generating enough chances with enough consistency that by doing so, you're going to score enough times over the long run. And this game just really wasn't that from Timo or his line as a whole. Defensive pairings, Nemec was just an absolute dynamo in that second period. I'm going to keep singing this kid's praises to the heavens. It feels like every single game. I pretty much almost hand wave away any mistake, and he hasn't really had any of those in a long while now. This kid is going to be, he almost is already something truly special. He is absolutely going to be as we move forward. Same thing with Luke here. I think he continues to look phenomenal on the defensive side of the game lately, especially since coming back from the All-Star break. You can tell he's playing with a bit of a renewed vigor. Maybe just that, NHL tax of the insane schedule was getting to him towards the tail end of the first, not even just half, but just up to the All-Star break, really. And since then, he has come out as just been phenomenal, really. No complaints there. Marino, I think, has been almost back to Johnny Hockey Marino that we had loved last year. Obviously, not the full season worth. Obviously, still needs to keep putting that effort together. But recent stretched eye test wise, I think he's been very well. Hataka continues to impress. Loving his game there. I think Ball has done well. And Miller, again, continues, I think, find his way in our system here. You don't give up a goal at all in the regulation. Not much to really nitpick or tear apart there. Biggest thing is didn't score, right? There was chances. There was a lot of chances. Toffoli, I thought, had multiple. Obviously, the overtime there, but even beyond that, I could nitpick some things if I really wanted to. Dano called it out. That one icing was just almost inexcusable. Even in overtime, there was some place I thought they need to get Bratt the puck sooner. Really beyond that, though, there was not too much. I mean, we gave up some chances, but I mean, so did they, and that's hockey, right? So I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. We still have another stretch. That Stadium Series game that I almost almost rid off in the preseason is looking like it's going to be a very big game. It's a 4-point swing. You lose that one to the Flyers, race gets a lot tougher. You win it, it looks a lot better. But it's not the only games. It's not a must win. It's not a do or die. But got to win. Probably two of these next three, right? Probably has to be two of the next three. I believe when I was scoreboard watching a little bit, the teams we are in that race against all did fairly well tonight for the most part. So we'll keep an eye out on it as we get into really the last 20 is where that race is going to come down to. We'll see what I'll end here. During the game, it came out from the fridge himself that we were in very, very serious talks about Markstrom from Calgary. It sounds like the reason it either hasn't happened yet or is not